2024 was one of the best years for physical media in a very long time, and here are my top 10 favorite physical media releases from this year. Now, in this video, I've picked 10 of my favorites, but in no particular order. I don't really love ranking like 1 versus 2. Everything is so different. I just picked 10 of my absolute favorite releases from this year because 2024 was incredible. There was so much variety. You'll see on my list of 10 how many different labels there are, how many different types of movies, types of packaging, releases. There was so much awesome stuff happening this year. So I took 10 of my favorites. I could have probably made a list of 20, 30. There are so many great ones on here. Plenty that could have been honorable mentions. But these are my favorites of the year for a few different reasons that I'll cover as I go through each one. So to kick things off, we're going to start with Stop Making Sense. This is the Talking Heads documentary from A24. I loved this documentary. I think one of the best concert movies I've ever seen. Talking Heads are incredible. I've actually become a bigger fan of theirs because of this documentary. And I had never seen this before. And A24 put out this beautiful 4K release. You can see the artwork all over it. Looks incredible. And then on the inside, they got this really cool booklet. So your disc is going to be in here on one side, but it also has this huge booklet with, stills from the show and some behind the scenes photographs and set lists. So just a really nice package to celebrate the 40th anniversary. It comes with a bunch of different audio tracks. It comes with different versions of the film. It's the most definitive release of this concert movie that's ever been put out. A24 did an incredible job with this release in theaters, on physical media, everything about it. And I just thought this is a must own for music fans, movie fans, documentary lovers. If you like entertainment, this is a very entertaining movie. Next up is the Second Sight Films release of the Blair Witch Project on Blu-ray. Now, not a 4K, but the Blair Witch Project doesn't really need 4K to be seen. If you've seen the movie, you'd know why. But what was really cool about this release is just the packaging, the amount of extras that went into it, and the fact that they worked very closely with the filmmakers to produce what they actually thought was their most definitive, authentic cut of this movie and remastering of this movie, because the story is that when their film came out originally and when it came to Blu-ray and DVD and everything, they weren't consulted. They did not like the way that it looked. So they went back and fixed it here on this Second Sight Films release. It has incredible artwork on the front. And of course, with Second Sight, you're getting a ton of stuff. So you're getting the all-weather backcountry notebook, which has a bunch of notes from the film. You're getting the art cards in here, and you're also getting a huge hardcover book that comes with it. This has, God, how many pages? Almost 200 pages of essays, script notes, behind the scenes stuff. And then obviously you've got the Blu-ray set as well. It's a 2-disc set. It has the film on one. It has the special features on another. It is region B, so you need a region-free player, but most of the players these days, including the Panasonic ones that I use, have a little remote control trick that can open up to a region-free player pretty easily. So it's not really as big a deal as it has been in the past to watch region-free stuff or region B Blu-rays over here in North America. And this is definitely one I would recommend if you're a fan of Blair Witch and found footage. This dives deep into the entire lore and the marketing and the campaign behind this, but also the most definitive restoration of the film that's been available. Next up is a more basic release, but this was The Abyss on 4K. This came from Fox, Disney, and first of all, the 4K restoration on this is incredible, especially because this film hasn't been released on any format above DVD up until this year. So there was never a Blu-ray release. There was an old DVD release. I think it was the best James Cameron 4K this year. Aliens was really good too. True Lies was, I thought, okay. There's obviously some AI weirdness going on there, but The Abyss was the best of the bunch, and getting this in a 4K format was huge. The slipcover is nice. It has special features. It has the theatrical version and the special edition of both 4K and Blu-ray, and an entire Blu-ray bonus feature disc as well. So a 3-disc set. hard to go wrong with this. If you love James Cameron, if you love The Abyss, it was so great to see this finally come to the high quality 4K format, and that's why it made my list for one of my favorites of the year. Next on my list is the Pulp Fiction 30th anniversary 4K release from Paramount. I love Pulp Fiction. I think it's a top 5 movie ever made, definitely top 10. I could go back and forth, but I love it. It was a revolutionary movie. It kickstarted Tarantino's career even more so than Reservoir Dogs. This really put him on the map of like the greatest filmmakers ever, even after only 2 movies. But I love this release because it has such cool, unique packaging, and it wasn't overly expensive, but I love this artwork. This is the artwork I wanted for Pulp Fiction, and this is what's on the slipcover. Now on the back, there's some quotes as well, but when you open this up, how cool is this? You get the Jackrabbit Slims dance scene with Travolta and Uma Thurman, which I just think is awesome. So that's just on the slipcover. It folds open, and then on the inside, you get the more kind of classic artwork they've been using. But this has the Blu-ray, it has the 4K, it has a bunch of special features on both discs. It's beautifully restored. So I'm a huge fan of the way the slipcover looks on this. I loved the packaging for it. I like this. Then you get the interior packaging with the artwork, but this also comes with that little booklet, which has a replica contact sheet, lobby cards, stickers, and then of course you get the pop-up slipcover. So a really nice, cool release, which was released at a decent price point for a film that deserves it. Next on my list, this is pretty basic. There's a bunch of different releases of this out there, but this is Godzilla -1 on 4K. First of all, loved this movie. Incredible, incredible Godzilla film. The 4K is fantastic. It won an Academy Award for visual effects. It deserved it. It looks awesome even in 4K. Sometimes visual effects can get a little wonky. Not here. The sound is also off the charts. But I was just happy to see this come to disc because it took a really, really long time. And this was, put out by Toho. This is the Japanese company that owns Godzilla. But SDS, Studio Distribution Services, distributed it. You can get it at groove.com. I believe there was like a Walmart Steelbook, which kind of went out of print or out of stock really quickly. But there were some cool versions of this. It's a beautiful movie, a beautiful release, great audio visual, but just happy to see it finally come to 4K this year and come to physical media in the United States, which was super exciting for me. I know it had been released elsewhere, but getting in the US, finding a new market here, I was just so excited to own that movie. And for a while, I was not sure what their plans were. So that's why it made my list, not only because it's a great film and it's absolutely stunning watching it in 4K, but because I'm just happy it exists. Next on my list is Little Darlings from a new label called Cinematograph, which is part of the Vinegar Syndrome family of labels right now, started by Justin the Liberty, who's been on my podcast. He's a huge supporter of physical media, a huge supporter of restorations, catalog titles like this, and honestly knows more about film than probably anybody I follow on Instagram. So I fully support his label and his efforts here to get this out. But Little Darlings was also really great. It was a really, really fun movie. One of these like coming of age, it's like a sex comedy kind of coming of age 80s stuff, but the restoration is just stunning. As you know, Vinegar Syndrome does incredible work. This was no slouch. This looked absolutely amazing. It already made my top 10 list for halfway through the year. It's back here on this list. But the other really cool thing is this was spine number 1. This was the start of a brand new label in 2024, and Little Darlings kicked that off, and this was the limited edition release licensed by Paramount to Vinegar Syndrome and Cinematograph. And the special features, it has 2 audio commentaries, alternate scenes with commentaries. You get an hour-long interview with the director. We've got a video essay on here, and we've got essays from a couple of different writers. New 4K restoration, original camera negative, 4K with HDR, original stereo soundtrack. You get captions on this for the first time. Limited edition out of 8,000 for this first release, but just a beautiful, beautiful set. Like, look at the booklet that this came in. Essays and photos on the inside. And then here are your 2 discs, the 4K and the Blu-ray. But, just really, really high quality stuff all around. And I love the Cinematograph label. I've bought a few of their other releases, but I put this on the list because it was number 1 in the new line. And I think it's really important to see that, This is what I'm talking about when it comes to variety, packaging, the effort that's being put into physical media recently by many different people. Here's another great example. Also making my list, which was on my midway through the year list, is Femme Nikita, 4K Steelbook from Sony. First of all, loved the Steelbook. The spine's very nice. Let's show you the full package here when we open it up. Very nice looking Steelbook. I love the artwork on it. Very simple, just a 4K disc in here. But this movie really blew me away, and I think it's important that it came to 4K and kind of had a chance to be revisited by people like me who were younger and probably just missed this. I just had never heard of this movie, honestly. I think maybe I'd heard of it in passing, but never really paid much attention to it. And when I got the 4K Steelbook, man, what a restoration. Of course, Sony had a great year for catalog restorations. I've got another one of theirs coming up as well. Celebrating Columbia's 100th anniversary led to a lot of great releases, but I thought this was just one of my favorites because it's a great film. It has a great looking Steelbook, a great restoration, and I just loved all the effort Sony put into their catalog this year. And to me, this was one of the finest examples. So if you're interested in something, this is, I think still available, maybe reprinted at some point. But the 4K Steelbook of Femme Nikita, very, very good movie. Great release. Highly recommend it. Now, speaking of physical media and how it's evolving and all the catalog stuff that's happened this year, how about this one? The Conversation. This is from LionsgateLimited.com. Lionsgate Limited is going to be a new line of stuff that Lionsgate puts out on their website, selling direct to consumers. But this is Francis Ford Coppola's The Conversation 50th anniversary, and this release has everything. So not only do you get multiple posters, there's a couple different posters in here, the original artwork, the new artwork that's on the case. You also get this collector's edition, let me pull it out, collector's edition booklet, which is, I want to say 50 pages long or so. Has essays, writings in it, like you see on a lot of the other releases. Then you get the Steelbook on the inside with this incredible artwork. You got art on the Steelbook itself, but the slipcover also has some really beautiful artwork. And to top it all off, you even get a cassette tape with the original motion picture soundtrack. So this is all in a box together. The booklet, the two posters, the 4K release of the film fully remastered, the special features on the Blu-ray disc, and this awesome box set, which honestly reminds me of something that like Second Sight would do. It's that type of quality, and really nice to see Lionsgate jumping into something like this. Here's another one that made my mid-year list, but had to have on the end of year, and it's the Old Boy 4K release from Neon. Now, Neon had a great year for movies with, they had Long Legs, they've got Honora, which they might win Best Picture for. They had Immaculate. They had a lot of success across genres this year, and they've got more coming next year. They literally, I think they will win Best Picture with Honora. But they also went back, they got the rights to Old Boy, and they released this directly from themselves. You get the director's signature on the back, beautiful spine, beautiful front cover art. And then opening this up, here's the booklet here. With this includes your movie. The discs are in the side, but it's this massive booklet. Here's the 4K disc with all kinds of storyboards, essays, art cards. It's, again, one of those premium type packages. And then there's a little booklet here, a little envelope, which has a bunch of different stills from the movie and art cards for those as well. And the case is just beautiful. It's like this almost canvas feel, very high quality stuff, beautiful artwork. This isn't like just kind of glossy screen printed on. A lot of this stuff, this is like printed like right onto the canvas. It has a real premium look and feel to it. And it was at a really good price point too. So no complaints there. A great movie, a great restoration, a beautiful release. And I would love to see Neon do some more stuff like this, maybe like A24 did with Stop Making Sense, for some of their bigger movies. I know I'd love to see something like this for Honora or for Long Legs, or even going back to some of their earlier films. They have a pretty great catalog that they could do things like that for, and it'd be great to see them try it. And finally, last but not least, is this behemoth, but one of the coolest sets that came out this year. This is the Frank Capra Collection. Now, first of all, the packaging is huge. Incredible packaging. Here are all the films that are included, 20 different movies in this set. And here's the best part. It's just a magnet, and it opens up, and you literally have like a mini film library of Capra stuff. Of the 20 movies in this set, you can see the black cases. Those are the 4Ks. 9 Frank Capra movies, fully restored in 4K, the other 11 all on Blu-ray. They all come in their own individual cases. It's just a beautiful set. It looks great on a shelf. It's like film school in a box. Like, it's one of those sets that you're just like, this is, you know, it's amazing to see something like this come from a major label like Sony, Columbia in 2024, when so many people want to put down physical media. Physical media is dying. Physical media is never going to be the same, blah, 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 blah. Look at what I just showed you. So many different variations, labels, incredible packaging. Yeah, physical media will never be the same. It will never be the 1990s blockbuster Lion King selling 50 million VHS tapes. But selling 8,000 copies of Little Darlings, or 10,000 copies of this Old Boy release, or The Conversation, or, you know, some great releases that I didn't even include in here from labels like Umbrella Entertainment that sell just, you know, 2,000, 3,000 at a time. That model, that kind of collector model, the limited edition packaging followed by standard editions, that's just where we are right now. It's a collector's world. And, you know, if you're a collector like me who just genuinely loves having this stuff, displaying things on your shelf, showing it to other people, sharing it, it's a great time, because we're just getting so much from A24, from Neon, Cinematograph, Vinegar Syndrome, Columbia, and Sony. You get SDS doing exclusive steelbooks and cool packaging now. We've got Second Sight Films. You got Umbrella. You got Imprint. You got TerraVision. You got Arrow Video, which I didn't even have an Arrow Video release in this list, and I easily could have. The Mexico trilogy, for example, from Robert Rodriguez. It was so hard to narrow down to just 10 for this video, because there were so many amazing releases that came out this year. So I hope this was interesting, gave you some ideas. All of this will be linked in the video description. It'll probably be linked right here in the video on YouTube now. YouTube Shopping does their thing. They like auto tag products. So if you see it there, you can buy it. You can get it from the Amazon links. All of that helps support me and the channel, so I appreciate that. But this was a great year for movies. I saw so many great films. I watched over 120 movies this year, so basically one every 3 days, which for a guy with 2 young kids under the age of 3, I thought was pretty impressive. And a lot of these were the reason why. Physical media and great collector's editions and limited editions and new remasters. Just, I've jumped into so many different types of films this year, and I hope that you guys do as well. So let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you want to get a link to any of these or need any help finding them. Some of the stuff may be out of print now, out of stock, but there should be like standard editions out there for stuff like Little Darling. So, you know, let me know and I'll help you if you want to find some of this stuff. But I appreciate y'all watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Have a great rest of your year. Here's to 2025 and more great stuff coming for both physical media and me and the channel and all my content. And I appreciate you all. So thank you. Have a great rest of your day. Have a great rest of your year. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll talk to you soon.